Hello and welcome back to Ops with Void. This is Forgotten Void, your host, and this week we will be going over Newport, specifically what to do in a brawling battleship. Now for our host or ship this week, we will be using the Shiny Horse, Scharnhorst. It has decent secondary. Well, no, it has really good. Not the best secondary, but it has good secondaries. So it has the 105s with a 2.9 second reload. We have Lucians on here with IFHE, so that these actually pen 32 millimeters of armor, which is really good for most everything. And then we have the 150s, which with 47 millimeters of penetration, penetrate everything. It does reduce the fire chance, but with so many of them firing, it doesn't matter too much. And then the main battery is 283s. These are the same guns that were used on the Deutschland class. They were upgraded and then put on these ships. So they're slightly better than the Deutschland class guns. Although in World of Warships, I think they have worse dispersion, maybe? Let's see, maximum dispersion at 19 kilometers is 259 meters. We can go find Deutschland. Graf Spee. Graf Spee is a Deutschland class. 170 meters at that range. So yes, the Scharnhorst has worse dispersion because that's a lot more dispersion than just 100 for just 3 kilometers. I could go into that. Anyways, so we will just be using the Scharnhorst for our how to go brawl and go ahead into the lines in defense of Naval Station Newport. Quick look on Lucians for Battleship. This is the setup I have for Schlieffen. So full secondary build. We have concealment because with Schlieffen you want concealment more than anything, but otherwise yes, it's full secondary DPM build. With the only module that matters. We have the main armaments is to protect the torpedoes. Okay, with that, we will go into battle. So here we are, solo queue, random battle, random operation. We just happened to get defensive Naval Station Newport. We're not in the center, we're not in the front line, we're kind of in the back, which is not where we want to be as a brawling battleship. So what we're going to do is we're going to head. Okay, we see where they are. So we're going to head toward the center because we can meet these ships in the center while shooting at the ships on the far right. So the Alba is the first thing we can shoot at. We're going to kind of aim where the Alba can't really hit anything else, so that's going to be our first shot. It's also going to help us gauge how far we should actually lead them. So 2 penetrations for 4K damage is not a bad first shot, especially at near max range. And with especially with our next shot being a single over pen on the Yahagi. And we're swapping to the Kuma because it's closer to the entrance. So we want to start preventing things in. And we also have a flatter broadside, larger target for us to hit. which works out because we were able to get a citadel. And being this far away, it's more likely we're going to get a citadel with the lower penetration of German shells and the smaller caliber. These aren't large caliber because they're only 283s, only slightly bigger than heavy cruiser guns. The size of these guns, but the amount of armor, is why people didn't know whether to call these battlecruisers or battleships. And there we go. We must get the further talk with the back turret. Yeah, they have the armor of a battleship, but the guns of a, well, larger cruiser. And they have pretty small guns. 11-inch, 283. And we're using AP armor piercing against destroyers because for German ships, the armor piercing does more damage than the high explosive for battleship caliber guns, which battleship caliber guns start with 283. So here I am. I'm tempted to throw torpedoes at it, but then I decide no, I'll just let the secondaries work it over. Just like they worked over the mass there. So we're going to go ahead and throw torps out at the Congo. And Akizuki took care of that. And we took our good bit of damage. And that'll be the most damage we take for a while. You know, even being up front. So what we're doing is we're putting our nose towards the Congo because the Congo cannot overmatch our nose. Neither can the Bayern at that, for that matter. So what we're trying to do is gauge the Alba. So I'm expecting the Alba to slow down. Now we shoot too slow to get anything, but the secondaries were working over anyways. So we could have our guns turn around. Or we could turn around so that our torpedoes that are loaded are facing them too. So what we're doing is turning around and going the other way, because this will also let us run with the Alba so it cannot torp us. Just in case it lives. And with the Citadel there, I don't think it's going to live. It did not live. And so we're looking at the Bayern. What we're doing is we're waiting for the reticle to pass where the wreck would be, so the torpedoes aren't all made into war crimes by taking down a sinking vessel. Not that it's really going to matter because the Bayern is melting very quickly. Gets us the kill. So we're up here in front, and we actually have the Akizuki and the Dunkirk came up. Don't know where the Talon's going. And then you have the Colorado in the back doing Colorado things. To be fair, as a Colorado, it's not that bad of an idea because he overmatches the bow of most everything here. And, well, everything so far he overmatches the bow of. And if he gets into trouble, you know, the Colorado, you know, it doesn't get out of trouble very quickly. Sorry, I said that wrong. It doesn't get out of trouble. Period. There we go. Now that we have the bead on it, we can actually more or less get citadels every salvo. Yep, there's another citadel. So we're throwing these torps out for the Shiratsuyu, just in case. But I think the Akizuki is making, and our secondaries is making sure the Shiratsuyu dies. And there you go, our secondaries secured the kill. And because yeah, we put the secondaries on the Kagero. Because our armor piercing is better against cruisers, we're letting the secondaries work over the destroyers while we focus our main guns on the cruisers. That's what any secondary brawling ship should do. Use your secondaries. They were meant for destroyers in the first place. Now, if you don't believe me, that's actually, you can look it up, that's actually why, oh, there goes the Alba. That's actually what secondaries were for. They were defense against destroyers and torpedo boats. That was their reasoning. They evolved into being shot at everything because, you know, when you can shoot all your guns at something, you shoot all your guns at something. But no, they were torpedo boat and destroyer defense. And we activate our DCP here to protect our torpedo tubes, to keep us on fire, and because we know we're not going to catch another fire before the destroyer, our DCP would last longer than that destroyer was going to last. So we're turning our guns for the cruisers. And we're going north to go face the ships that will spawn in. And then what they're talking about in chat is the our Des Moines is the carrier, because it was originally put in as the Lexington class aircraft carrier. And then when the 8.0 rework happened, the carrier was taken out. Gooncon and what the other one, they were originally carriers too. All of the carriers in Aegis and Newport were taken out and replaced with battleships. And then for a while, they just took out the voice line, and they only brought the voice line back the beginning of last year, I think. Yeah, the beginning of 2022 is when the voice lines. It's either end of 2021, beginning of 22, but they brought the voice lines back finally, after they had been gone for like 4 or 5 years. So we're actually putting our secondaries on this Gneisenau. And that is because we're really hoping the RNG will bless us with the secondaries knocking out the torpedo tubes. So we aim a little bit ahead of the Gneisenau because he is accelerating. And we're going to focus our main guns on the Ibuki. And we're going to continue in a turn just in case and hope that we're going to miss the torpedoes. We also want to get ahead of the torpedoes for the Ibuki. And the other thing we're doing is we're getting torpedoes for the other side for Gneisenau. Unfortunately, I have not seen torpedoes. Oh, there come the torpedoes. Last shot. Okay, 2 citadels onto the Ibuki. Somehow we're still alive. Gneisenau's down. Somehow we're still alive. We survived all that. And so now we're going to work back our way back as we're healing up. Oh, I deleted a torp tube. That's always nice. Natural selection. We have destroyed 8 ships? 8 ships. Only of our 9 kills, only one was a battleship, which was the Bayern. So now a lot of people at this point would be shooting high explosive at the Musashi. Again, same reasoning. High explosive does less damage than armor piercing. And sure, we're getting ricochets, but it's kind of like if you're getting a ricochet, you would get a non-pen with high explosive anyways. So here we are using armor piercing, just getting more raw damage, especially since other people are using high explosive and the Musashi is already on fire. So we're just farming damage with our nice 6k salvos. Now I know it's a little bit off with our rear gun firing first, and then our front 2 guns. And you just see how bad the dispersion is. And so we throw a salvo at the ruin there. And right before the shells impacted, the Talon got it. And so all that's left is a Nagato. And so basically we were able to clear out the side of the 2 incoming cruisers and then the 2 ships that spawned on the side. And by doing that, we reduced the total number of ships that our team has to focus on down to 5. And there are 6 ships. That means it's a lot easier for our team to focus fire, which helps with getting the victory. And so by being out here like what we did, all of the actions in total were there so that we could get a victory. Now in the end, we got 9 ships, 11 citadels, 7 torpedo hits, 287 secondary ribbons, and 300k damage total. So we got a lot of stuff done because we were out there and basically in the face of the enemy, getting their broadsides and taking them out. So this also puts us top of the team, by far. Top of the team. Like the Dunkirk, who came out late and then went somewhere else, and Colorado is there, and then Pobeda. It's hard when you have single strike aircraft that are really slow and you don't have a place to get up close. And so there's our ships destroyed. The Myoko that we did pretty much all the damage to with only 12 shells. It's actually pretty good. And then the Ibuki that we were able to sink and pretty much everything else. Musashi, we ended up doing a 26. The Gneisenau, we did 67k and the Akazuki got the kill. We did destroy a torpedo tube. Probably was after. That was probably after it launched the torpedoes that I didn't see it. Maybe you saw it. You can tell me if you saw when it got that. And so, this is our main guns. We shot 0 high explosive because we are a German battleship and you should never shoot high explosive, ever. There's always a place to penetrate with armor piercing, which will do more damage. Maybe Mecklenburg with its 305s at tier 10. Maybe. But otherwise, yeah, you should be shooting armor piercing. Torpedoes did another 61k, and then our secondaries did 56k damage, plus floodings. We actually got 14k damage in flooding from a torpedo that had to be on the Gneisenau. Was it on the Gneisenau? Oh, it was 10k on the Gneisenau. Close enough. Or was the other 4k? Was it on the Congo? It was on the Congo. Okay. And yeah, so for overall, we did pretty well. Damaged gun was probably damaged when we took the torpedoes, when we instant DCP'd everything. Where's our potential? That's actually not very high for potential. We weren't in much danger. We very much were in a good position to not take danger and not take damage. As for the credits, we were using a green booster, so we got the plus 40, and then the plus 5 from clan stuff. I'm not sure why it's saying that's for clan merits. Oh look, bug. That's definitely the credit booster, not clan merits. And total of 623,000 profit for tier 7, just using green booster. That's actually pretty good. The bonus packages, the XP, the free XP was also green bonuses. So you can see the calculation there. Free XP is no longer tied to the base XP. Well, it's tied to the base XP, but it's not tied to the actual XP your ship receives. That was changed with the rework where they took away signals from having XP modifiers. They took away the econ signals. Anyways, I think I'm diving a little bit too deep, so we will call it there. If you have any ship you want me to play, or you want to see a specific playstyle, please let me know. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. If you want to see more videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, or don't. I'm not your mother. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I do hope that I will see you again next week. Have a good one.